The Thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parks Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
Welcome to Let's Go Racing. Happy 4th of July from Dick and Danny here at our Parks Racing studio. And Parks celebrated in a big way. We had live racing, lots of family fun. It was a fabulous day here for our Independence Day. On today's show, trainers Butch Reed dominated stakes in the Mid-Atlantic, winning 2 in just 15 minutes at 2 different tracks. Plus, we have a lot of other top stakes to cover, including the Stephen Foster, the Dwyer. Lots going on around the country, but Parks was the place to be here.
It was indeed, Danny. I mean, it was like an overflow crowd. It's not that often when there's a midweek day. It also has to be a holiday, so it hit perfectly this year, a Tuesday, 4th of July. And even though it was really hot, there weren't very few places to be able to hang out because almost every place was covered by a person.
It certainly was. I was hoping to get maybe a hot dog invite or anything. I didn't get any barbecue invites, but it was cool to see lots of fans here enjoying the horses.
Absolutely.
And I think we made some new fans as well.
No doubt. We'll see him back here. See him back here on PA Derby Day, but you can come out on before that.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into our big races for the week. It was a big weekend last week for trainer Butch Reed. We're going to start with the Delaware Oaks. It's a grade 3, $300,000 going a mile and 16th. And Fireline is actually the favorite in there, though, for Chad Brown.
Yeah, Chad Brown, just off the paper, really hadn't been in a stakes race, but it's Chad Brown, had a fast figure, and therefore favored, because that's how the world works anymore.
Miracle is our second choice for Todd Pletcher, another big name in the Delaware Oaks.
Yeah, so Pletcher and Chad Brown come down from New York. They get bet. That's how it always is. And that makes sometimes you get an overlay on maybe another horse.
Absolutely. Here's the call to grade 3, Delaware Oaks.
Opus 42 leads them past the 7 and shows the way a length and a half. Miracle to the outside grabs second, and Foggy Night protects the rail position in third. There's a break of 3 back to Fireline, who now claims that 4th place position, and Cover the Spread is taking the inside route. Cats in the Timbers 3 wide, leaving Paul Poole 4 wide down the back of the track, and Fast Track was slow to go. So they go down the back of the pack in the 72nd running of the Delaware Oaks, and the lead is Opus 42, the lead's a length and a half, but Miracle is on hold at the 4.5 furlong point, and a gap of 2 back to Foggy Night all by herself in that 3rd place position. Fireline is right there in a position to challenge, gets a couple of niggles to stay with the speed. Cover the Spread is ground saving. Cats in the Timber gets a rein shaken. Ball Pool has 1 beaten as they get ready to turn into the far turn. So now Miracle raises the stakes to Opus 42, and these two take their battle to the quarter pole. And Miracle now inching away from Opus 42. Foggy Night tries the battle, and Fireline needs to sprout wings and is now getting on track, but is still 5 lengths down as they turn for home in the Delaware Oaks, where Foggy Night trying to inhale the Miracle, and up the inside is Opus 42. At the 16th pole, Foggy Night at 14-1 comes away with the lead. Opus 42 battles Miracle. It is Foggy Night who is crowned the Delaware Oaks champion.
And Foggy Night with a great trip with Paco Lopez aboard, 14-1, so snuck away from the bettors on that one. But we always had a lot of hopes with Foggy Night, big developing chestnut filly for trainer Butch Reed. And I talked to Paco Lopez here at Parks. He said, look, she gave me everything.
Oh.
I sat the perfect trip. I mean, she was a little green. I know he wants to put the blinkers on her, but I mean, she ran beautifully.
She really did, Danny. And look, she'd shown some promise last year when second in the Tempted Stakes up at Aqueduct, and didn't run so well in the Demoiselle. Put her away, and you could see each race was getting a little better. And this was a powerhouse effort. And Butch is thinking Monmouth Oaks, Catherine Sophia here when we come back after the break, and then obviously the Cotillion would be the big goal, end of year goal for Foggy Night. And it's a wild backstory here. I wrote about it this week on Let'sGoRacingParks.com, but the owner is actually the guy who started the Brookledge Van Company up there near Reading years ago, and had never really bought a horse. And the night before the horse sale, he's 94 years old, he goes, how do you go about buying a horse? So he started putting his hand up, and he eventually gets this filly for $20,000. And the next part of the story is he doesn't really know what to do with her. So he gives her to Barry Eisman down at his farm in Ocala, and Barry says, hey, my man Butch Reed does a good job. Why don't you send her to Butch? So that's how Butch Reed ended up with Foggy Night, and what a great job he's done. And yeah, some stories in horse racing you just can't make up. First horse for 20, and the reason he said he bought the horse is because they'd gotten so much money out of horse racing that he felt like he should put something back in. Well, he put something back in, all right. Now he's got a grade 3 winner.
What a story, and love that he's 94 years young with the very good, promising filly Foggy Night.
No question.
Well, let's get to the Laurel Dash at Laurel Park. It's $100,000 for sprinters going 6 furlongs on the turf course. Midday Image for David Jacobson, a name we're starting to hear resurge again.
Yeah, he is starting to show up in a lot of places, and he's got a lot of horses, and he's been winning a lot of races.
Smokin' Jay is our second choice.
Yeah, Smokin' Jay's solid, but keep your eye on the outside post. Just keep an eye on 4 Harp here.
It's 4 Harp now, the speed of the speed. 4 Harp leads by a length and a half. Grateful Bred in between horses. Midday Image there to the inside as they round that turn run. Also there is Noble Emotion in the second flight. And so the 2 lengths back, and Smokin' Jay just biding time now and trying to roll on. Here comes Smokin' Jay, 5th and out of the clear. And followed by Witty, second to last position, and Steal to Cash. Top of the stretch, and 4 Harp. 4 Harp the one to catch. 4 Harp from Midday Image. The lead is 2 lengths. Grateful Bred. Smokin' Jay on the outside with every chance to quicken now, and a quarter of a mile to go to the second wire finish. It's 4 Harp fully extended. Midday Image on the outside, willing. Out of the center track, Witty. Witty's on a roll way out in the center. Here comes Witty. 4 Harp, Witty on the outside with a 16th left to go. 4 Harp, Witty gobbling up the turf on the outside, but time is running out. 4 Harp and Witty. 4 Harp to win it.
4 Harp gets the win. Frankie Pennington didn't make the trip because he was at Delaware Park.
Right.
He was named on the horse. Sheldon Russell rode on a beautiful race, and a big win for Butch Reed, just 15 minutes apart from the Delaware Oaks
Yeah,
win.
Butch actually said, Danny, he was in, when this race was started, he was still in the paddock at Delaware Park getting Foggy Night ready for the Delaware Oaks, so he finally got to the TV. 4 Harp was already at the 16th pole and clear. And yeah, Frankie would have loved to ride this horse, but he rode Barron earlier, and he just couldn't, there wasn't enough time to get to Laurel Park. But yeah, 85 miles apart and 15 minutes apart, 2 stakes races. I said, Butch, have you ever done that before? No, he hadn't done that one before. And Brian Reed, his brother, and Doc Bonner were in the winner's circle for this one. Of course, Ginny and Butch were in the winner's circle for the Delaware Oaks. But yeah, it was some 15 minutes for Butch, and here's more.
How about winning the Delaware Oaks and the Laurel Dash just within 15 minutes of each other?
Yeah, it was a very exciting weekend, exciting day for the crew and the owners and the whole family. So, to go back to back like that. In fact, I didn't even get to see the whole race of the first one, getting the other one ready. So, but it was a great day.
Talk about the ride with Foggy Night with jockey Paco Lopez. She was always giving him everything.
Yeah, Paco gave her a nice breather going down the backside. He let kind of the 2 in front of him go ahead and mix it up a little bit, and just did a fantastic job. And came around, she was getting a little in through the, leaning in a little bit through the lane, but we'll take it as long as she keeps winning like that.
And then the Harp hanging tough down at Laurel with your brother Brian and Doc Bonner.
Yeah, I had my assistant brother Brian up there, newly assistant, new retired. We're dusting him off. He was my assistant from my big brother Mark back in the late 70s, so we're bringing him back a little bit, and he got his first taste of some stake action, and it was really good to see them get the money, him and Doc Bonner.
Talk about Morning Matcha going out in the Delaware Handicap. What a competitive filly she's been for your barn.
Oh yeah, she's just been great. She tries every time for a relatively inexpensive filly. Just couldn't ask any more out of her, and she's every time you take her over there, she's going to give you an honest effort.
Well, they were in the winner's circle, and they were down at Laurel Park, and I was actually at Butch Reed's house walking his dog Lucy, watching the stakes on his TV, sitting on his couch cheering with his dog when this all happened.
That's tremendous. And 4 Harp, by the way, got a 101 buyer figure, and Butch says there's a PA bred stake on the grass, and then obviously he'll shoot for the Turf Monster on PA Derby Day, I would think.
Well, Butch Reed has a serious barn, that's for sure. We're going to head to our first break, but we have a lot coming back. More stakes action and a Parks local race all coming up on the other side.
Simovich has extended his lead. Frankie Pennington let him out a notch now.
Chapman Ford of Horsham is now the #1 volume Ford dealer in the Philadelphia region. There's plenty of reasons why, and it's not just because we have a great selection of new Fords. That helps, but it's mostly because of how much we all take pride in providing the best customer experience, the Chapman experience. Finding your new Ford can still be difficult. If we don't have it in stock, then we'll help you reserve one of our available inbound vehicles, or our order team can help you custom order the exact new Ford you want. We make it easy at Chapman Ford of Horsham, the #1 volume Ford dealer in the Philadelphia region.
Racehorses are pampered,
treated with care,
and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
and they do right by us.
the hard-working folks
Who proudly earn our living.
In Pennsylvania's horse racing,
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
but it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs,
Jobs and billions in economic impact each year.
all across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania. It's a winner.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Let's get to some local racing here at Parks. It was Monday's 9th race, a really solid allowance optional claiming. You had to, if you were in for the tag, it was $35,000. Only a few were in there. Purse is $56,000. They're going to go 1 mile, and our favorite is my pick, Simovich, the number 4.
Yeah, Simovich looks like possibly lone speed. There might be some other speed to go with him, but we'll see.
And Oliver takes our second choice for John Service.
Yeah, and Oliver also has speed and down on the inside.
Here's the call of our local race of the week.
Simovich has a 1-length advantage over Alivar through an opening quarter 24 flat. Simovich keeping Alivar at bay for now. Then it's a gap of 2 or 3 back to AC Expressway. Baton has moved up into 4th to his outside. Dreaming of Jerry to his outside is Super John. Then it's back to Irish Honor, Cobble Road, the long shot, and Roan Mountain continues to trail, but he's getting a little bit closer. Simovich has extended his lead. Frankie Pennington let him out a notch. Now he has about 3-4 lengths over Alivar as they go through a half and 47-2 and make their way into the final turn. Simovich has led every step of the way. Now he has to take them home. Alivar getting a little bit closer. He's gotten the cue from Paco Lopez, and he is coming up to challenge Simovich. AC Expressway also beginning to roll. Back to Baton, Dreaming of Jerry. Roan Mountain trying to pick up some pieces from the back. Nothing from Irish Honor, Cobble Road, and at the back is Super John. At the top of the stretch, Simovich confronted to his outside from Alivar. Those two going to slug it out. AC Expressway also making up some ground. The gray Roan Mountain charging down the center of the track. Simovich, Alivar puts his nose in front. Simovich comes right back at him. AC Expressway swings to the inside for his bid. Alivar and Simovich, these two are locked in a battle, and Alivar now has his neck in front.
And Alivar and jockey Paco Lopez catching Simovich, my pick, right at the wire. Nice win for trainer John Service, and we've been keeping an eye on that big milestone he's approaching.
Yeah, he's getting closer to 2,000 every time he wins one. In 1996 is what we saw last. And yeah, good pick by you, Danny. I thought you were home with Simovich, and I had AC Expressway was also in the race.
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically 1, 2, 3 around and 2 past 1, but wasn't a lot of movement. But yeah, Alivar for John Service, another W.
Yeah, it's a good race too. Well, let's get to some Grade 1 action. This would have been at Churchill Downs, but they moved over to Ellis Park. It's the Grade 1 Stephen Foster. This is $1 million race, a 1 1/8, and Wes Will Power is our post-time favorite.
Yeah, really been on a good roll for Brad Cox. This is a horse who took a long time to develop. He couldn't be better bred by Bernardini out of a wild event, but 6 years old and hitting his peak. It's nice to see a horse still running in Grade 1 company at 6.
Oh, it certainly is. We had 2 co-second choice favorites. Let's talk about Proxy, though, the number 1 for Godolphin.
Yeah, Proxy was a little up against it, Danny, just because of the nature of this racetrack. It's very much of a speed track. If you're not near the front or near the rail at this Ellis Park meet, you're not winning.
Well, here's the call to Grade 1, Stephen Foster.
The opening quarter goes in 23 3/5 seconds. Down the back stretch run, 5 furlongs to go. Here's the half. It's 46 4. The pace is sharp for Speed Bias, heading for the far turn. Wes Will Power tracking intently while second. 2 lengths back. Smile Happy down inside of Stiletto Boy. They're together 3rd and 4th. Last Samurai, 3 wide, far turn, run 5th. Rattle and Roll is only 5 lengths off the lead in 6th. 4 back to Proxy, who's going the wrong way. Happy American picking it up from the back of the pack. Round the far turn here at Ellis Park, and Wes Will Power has grabbed the lead. Wes Will Power grabs the lead right outside the quarter pole. Smile Happy appears on the scene. Stiletto Boy is there too. Down inside, Speed Bias. Rattle and Roll switched outside with Last Samurai. They're off the turn. They're into the stretch. Wes Will Power pulling away. Now by 2 with 1 furlong to go. Happy American, the longest shot on the board, running down inside. Rattle and Roll's coming with a fast finish as well. West Willpower needs the wire. Rattle and Roll can't catch West Willpower.
West Willpower getting the win for trainer Brad Cox. But got to give a shout out to Rattle and Roll.
Yeah.
He is ultra consistent, ran a really good second. But like you said, West Willpower hitting his best stride at 6.
Yeah, no doubt. That 6 straight triple-digit fires is winning your end for the Breeders' Cup Classic, and this is the first ever Grade 1 race held at Ellis Park. Obviously, as Danny said earlier, they moved the meet from Churchill Downs. Smile Happy, who'd been on a good roll too. He was just wacky in the parade. They couldn't get him into the starting gate. They had to back him like 1/8 of a mile to get him in the gate. So I think you can put a line through that. But yes, to Rattle and Roll, he beat the racetrack. He was closed on a track where nobody's closing.
One heck of a horse. Let's get to some 3-year-olds in the Dwyer at Belmont Park. They're going to go that 1-turn mile, $200,000, and our favorite is Fort Bragg, Bob Baffert.
Yeah, could not have been much more impressive. Pat Day Mile ran a terrific second to General Jim that day, then trained by Tim Yaktine. Now he's back to Bob Baffert.
And Saudi Crown, Brad Cox is our second choice. It really looked like a 2-horse race on paper.
Yeah, for sure. This horse was 2 for 2 and could not have been much more impressive by Kentucky Derby winner Always Dream.
Here's 3-year-olds in the Dwyer.
Saudi Crown leads the field up the Belmont backstretch in Frontier, 3/4 of a length. Harrodsburg is in between horses, and the odds-on favorite Fort Bragg in the clear on the outside in third. The quarter went in 22 and 2/5 seconds. Then it's a break of 4 lengths. Back to Prove Right, another 2 to Joey Freshwater, and Alternate Reality is the trailer. Saudi Crown setting the pace, leading here by 3/4 of a length, and the half was running 44 and 3. Fort Bragg has moved into second. Harrodsburg is now back in third. Prove Right gains some ground down towards the rail, and then Joey Freshwater up front. Saudi Crown on the inside and Fort Bragg on the outside, and the two of them hook up with 1/4 of a mile to the finish. Saudi Crown by a neck. Fort Bragg on the outside in second. Then Harrodsburg, Prove Right, and Joey Freshwater. They come into the stretch now. 3/4 went in 1:08 and 4. Saudi Crown challenged here by Fort Bragg on the outside. And now there's a furlong to the finish. Fort Bragg on the outside. Saudi Crown digs down at the rail. A 16th to the finish. It's Fort Bragg and Saudi Crown. And they're putting on quite a show here in the stretch in the Dwyer. They come on to the finish. And it's a photo finish.
And it was a 2-horse race, but Fort Bragg ultimately did get the win. John Velasquez, we've seen that team up of Velasquez and Baffert, and another win.
Yeah, I mean, Fort Bragg was meant to run earlier. They couldn't run him. He was a little ill, but man, he came back firing. 106 buyer. And boy, the second horse did not deserve to lose. Saudi Crown was tremendous, and it was basically a match race at the top of the stretch home. Really good horse race. Fort Bragg, Johnny V, and Double B win again.
Well, we're having so much fun at Belmont Park. Let's stick around in the Grade 2 John Navard Stakes. 7 furlongs, $250,000. Of course, Twisted Ride, our boy, is up there.
Yeah, and they had a decision to make whether to run in a race at Delaware Park or go to New York, and they said, let's find out what we got. Twisted Ride was in here. And Danny, when I looked at it on paper, he looked like Lone Speed. I wasn't sure he was going to be good enough to win, but at least on paper he's going to have that kind of a tactical edge.
Yeah, some other good names in here. Candyman Rocket, Wayburn. Really good account of the John Navard. Here's the call.
Up front, Little Vic in the yellow blinkers with a head in front of Twisted Ride through 1/4 in 23 seconds. Candyman Rocket is now on the move and gaining ground on the outside. Little Vic now has the lead by almost 2 lengths. Twisted Ride, Candyman Rocket, they are heads apart, second and third. Then Sheriff Bianco, 3 Technique and Synthesis, and it's another 4 lengths back to Wayburn, who continues to trail. Little Vic challenged here by Candyman Rocket. And now the two of them hook up as they come for the head of the stretch. 1/2 mile, 46 seconds. Sheriff Bianco is next in third. 3 Technique is in behind horses. And down at the rail is Twisted Ride. Synthesis far outside. Wayburn is at the back. The field is in the stretch. Candyman Rocket now comes away with the lead with 3 Technique. Gaining ground on the outside. Here comes 3 Technique.
And 3 Technique came rolling at the end. Just bided his time. Really good ride by jockey Javier Castellano, who's having the year of his life.
Yeah, he sure is. Derby, Belmont, John Nehru. Yeah, no, he's really riding terrific, and this horse, we gave him just about the perfect ride. Won pretty easily in the end, Danny, with a 99 buyer. Little Vica we've seen around here, his first race in a while, thought he ran okay. I was a little unclear what Andy Hernandez was doing. He made the front and then he gave it up pretty quickly. Maybe he just couldn't stay there. I don't know, but Twisted Ride is better than he ran, I think. He certainly has shown better than that before.
Yeah, I think we'll see a better account of Twisted Ride back here at Parks. Well, good race in the John Nehru. We're going to do another break, but we have a lot coming up. Jockey and Trainer of the Week, it's a shocker, and race recap all coming up.
Turning for Home is a nonprofit that has provided nearly 2,800 former racehorses with a safe retirement. The program was created through the foresight of the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association.
We all love animals, and to give back to something that helps us so much, it's a great thing.
Responding to the need for a better system that addressed the uncertain future for the retiring equine population at Parks Racing, the PTHA rallied horsemen to support the program.
These horses can do anything from hunter jumpers to western to therapeutic riding.
Turning for Home became the first on-track retirement program at a year-round racetrack.
We want to make sure that our horses that have run so well for us over the years get the great opportunity to get a new vocation.
Out of everything that we've done in Pennsylvania for racing, I think that's the thing we can be most proud of.
If you would like to help these amazing animals find a great second career and forever home, please give us a call or contact us at turningforhome.org.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Our Jockey and Trainer of the Week is brought to you by Turning for Home. Jockey of the Week, Paco Lopez. Who's doing more than him?
Yeah, nobody. I mean, he's just the hottest guy around. He spent some days at Monmouth Park, and some days here, and some days in Delaware. And he rides for Butch Reed, who just might be the Trainer of the Week also. And Danny, they hooked up on PA Derby Day of 2022, and they have been a combo ever since. I think over like 42% together was the last
That's significant.
But,
7 seconds.
Paco and Butch had in stakes races, they're just hard to beat.
I talked to Paco this week at Parks, and I said, how did this even come about? He goes, I don't know if he picked me up or I picked him up, but Butch has nice horses. I feel confident on them, and I'm ready to win when he's on them.
They're running for Paco, but they're getting ready by Butch.
Absolutely. Well, let's go back to Delaware Park for a race recap. It's the Grade 3 Robert G. Dick Memorial Stakes. This is for our fillies and mares going a mile and 3/8, $250,000.
And here comes Sopran, how are we saying this, Basile? Do we like that?
Sopran Basilia.
The Irish bred for Graham Motion, coming from way back. Is she going to get there? Yes, she is, by a neck at the wire, and Graham Motion has won this race. Not 5 times, not 7 times, not 8, but 9 times now he's won this race, Graham Motion.
Yeah, you got to give credit to Ever Summer. She controlled the pace, and of course, Graham Motion's horse rolled on by.
Very tough.
But it's really cool. Butch and Graham were both kind of in the paddock at the same time, and a lot of people know they used to be roommates back in the day.
Back in the day, they did indeed.
Well, let's stay at Delaware Park. This is for sprinters in the $100,000 Alpacas Run Stakes, 6 furlongs, and of course our buddy Barron's in there, but Lightning Larry, a serious sprinter for the Jorge Delgado barn.
Yeah, and Barron, Danny, once again broke a little slow. It's just like 6 of the last 8 starts. He said a little bad break, and that took him right out of the race. Lightning Larry's a good horse under any circumstances. He's going to end up winning this thing in the end. Barron finished 3rd, but he needs to break better, and it's become a habit. I know they're very frustrated with it.
Maybe I'll have a talk with him in the barn, but
I
yes.
think you need to have a talk.
Barron does need, we know you're better, Barron. Well, it's time for Eye on Racing, and there is so much going on around the country. Let's just start, let's break it down. Let's start with Delaware Park. It's Delaware Handicap Day, and of course, Butch Reed, we talk about him a lot, but Morning Matcha will be there.
All right, gave Morning Matcha a race over the track to get her ready for the Del Cap, trying for that Delaware Oaks, Delaware Handicap Double.
And lots of 3-year-old races. Let's start with the turf. We got the Belmont Oaks, the Belmont Derby, the Indiana Derby, the Iowa Derby, the Los Alamitos Derby. What are you going to be doing Saturday?
I'll probably be watching a lot of horse racing, I would think. And of course, Belmont is coming to an end, which can only mean one thing. Saratoga's on the horizon.
Me too. I'm going to be betting on my Parks Racing mobile app. Mama needs new shoes. How do you like it? We're going to head to a final break, but Dick and I are going to preview a race and talk about some big horse racing news. Stick around. If you want action and you want it now, you got to get the new Parks Racing mobile app. Wager and watch thoroughbred and harness racing from around the world. With the Parks Racing mobile app, it's easy to open and fund your account. Then place your wagers and cheer on your horse as they thunder down the stretch. With the Parks Racing mobile app, you'll easily make withdrawal requests, view the previous day's replays and results. Plus, open any new account now and you'll be automatically enrolled in the Parks Rewards program. The more you wager, the more you earn. Get the new Parks Racing mobile app and get in on the action.
Chapman Ford of Horsham is now the #1 volume Ford dealer in the Philadelphia region. There's plenty of reasons why, and it's not just because we have a great selection of new Fords. That helps, but it's mostly because of how much we all take pride in providing the best customer experience, the Chapman experience. Finding your new Ford can still be difficult. If we don't have it in stock, then we'll help you reserve one of our available inbound vehicles, or our order team can help you custom order the exact new Ford you want. We make it easy at Chapman Ford of Horsham, the #1 volume Ford dealer in the Philadelphia region.
Did you know the Pennsylvania horse racing industry spends tens of millions of dollars supporting agriculture, from local farmers and farm workers to veterinarians and more? And we do it with zero tax dollars while creating tens of thousands of jobs.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Well, Dick and I are going to preview a race, and we take this very serious. We're going to look at Monday's 9th race. Definitely the feature race on the card. It's for Pennsylvania breds. Big pot to $50,000 allowance for the fillies and mares. 6 furlongs, so we need a good PA bred sprinter.
Yeah, and who do you like here? I'll let you go.
I'm going to go with John Service, Dancing on My Own.
Okay.
I know she's got a big race down in there.
Yep.
She can be a little spotty in her form, but Frankie Pennington, I having a good feeling.
All right, Jezebel, Jade for me. I like the post. I like a lot about her. This is a very difficult race. My man Abner Adorno, I love how he rides.
Well, and Christophe Clement, big name, has a horse in the race.
That?
We'll see if they make the trip from New York, but it should be interesting.
Yeah, sometimes he's in, but then he's not really in.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he shows up this time. But when he shows up, he's dangerous. So.
And we got some big news about the Kentucky Derby.
Did we ever? Bombshell from Churchill Downs late on the day on July 3rd, where they put out a press release saying the Bob Baffert suspension that we all thought was over when this Derby was run is now going to run through the calendar year 2024. I'm frankly like, what? You know, what are you doing down there? I don't get it. I mean, he's already paid the penalty. He missed 2 derbies. He got suspended. Medina Spirit was DQ'd. They lost the purse. What else are you going to do? I don't understand what Churchill Downs is doing, why they're doing it. Their CEO went on NBC Derby Week and said, look, once it's up, and that's over. I don't know where this came from. I know they're saying, well, if he hadn't fought it, well, it's his right. He gets a right to say what he thinks. This is America. You can't stop people from doing it. But look, they can do this by law. They can keep people out of the racetrack. I just think it's wrong.
Well, obviously big news in the horse racing world. I know they said they don't like that he still won't, he's still going with the false narrative with the positive.
Well, that's what he thinks happened, right. Danny. That's their opinion, and everybody's look, if you go into court, if you end up losing in court, you can still say I think I had the right
Correct.
argument. You can't deny people from making an argument, but apparently in Kentucky you can. I'm just baffled by this decision.
Well, you know what I gleaned from this?
Am.
I think Tim Yakteen will get a Kentucky Derby winner possibly.
How about that? Or maybe they just want to keep him at a Derby 150, or you could be really cynical and say, you know what, when they run the Derby at Ellis Park, maybe Bob Baffert will get to run his horse there. Is that cynical enough for everybody?
Very interesting news. Well, come hang out with us. We do race here at Parks Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Beautiful day. We start at 12:40. Make sure you come join us. Dick and I, that was a great show today. Thanks for watching on Let's Go Racing.
And they're off. Skippy Longstocking has early speed. We the people from in between horses. Taba has got the lead now. It's Taba in the center of the racetrack, but Taba is drawing away. And Taba with Mike Smith, they win the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby.